Okay, handedness. How do you determine the handedness or brain wiredness of a person? So let's do an exercise first. Do this exercise with me. Sit on your chair, put both feet on the ground, and put your hands on your laps. Both hands on your laps. Okay, now in a minute, when I say so, you clap like you're in a fantastic play and you really want to congratulate and thank you for the actors or the singers. So really give them a good solid ovation, a good solid hand clap, right? You clap both of your hands and you watch the hand that moves the most. So which hand moves the most? Okay, so sit on your chair, put your hands on your lap, and I'm going to count to 3, and on 3 you're spontaneously going to clap like in a very nice play. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And start clapping and watch which hand moves the most. Continue clapping, which hand moves the most. Which hand moves the most. Okay, and finish. Okay, which hand moved the most? That is your leading hand. And in about 60% of the times it's right-handed, and about 40% of the times it's left-handed. So there are much more left-handed born people than other statistics. Really focus on your leading hand. The leading hand can be the hand on top. The leading hand can be the hand on the bottom. The leading hand can be the hand on one side. It is just which hand leads the most, is moving the most. That is the most important part in determining handedness, to see which hand moves the most. Okay, warning. The way we use handedness in BioCompass might be different than from other modalities. Other modalities might determine it in a different way. We do it with handedness because it's the most accurate way. Handedness is determined, it gives you an insight actually how the brain is wired at birth. Over time, the brain does not change its wiring, does not change which side is more predominant functioning in what areas. Handedness, you can learn yourself to use a different hand for something, and we will get to there. But for now, just use the hand that moves the most, and that is the handedness. So if your right hand moves the most, great, you're right wired. If your left handed moves the most, great, you're left wired. Okay, let's take a few looks at a few clips. If we take a look at this clip, example A, which hand moves the most? Both hands, but the right hand, the person's right hand, which is on the video on the left side, but the person's right hand moves the most. You see the amplitude of extension is much wider than this his left hand. Okay, let's take another look. A different clap. In this case, the left hand for the guy moves the most. And again, the left hand moves the most in this case. And in the woman on the back, the right hand moves the most. The left hand or the right hand moves the most because this is seen from the actor's point of view. Also, in this case, the right hand moves the most.
Okay, about the hand clap test, there are a few different possibilities. So, for example, we can clap like this, exaggerated, right? We can clap like this. My right hand is moving the most. Or I can clap like this. Now my left hand is moving the most. You can also clap like this. Still, my right hand is moving the most. Turn around. Left hand is moving the most. We can do it like this. My right hand is moving the most. And now my left hand is moving the most. So it's all about which hand moves the most. That's your dominant hand. Right-handed, 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 left-handed, left-handed, left-handed. And now there's people that move them both at the same time. Those people tend to be ambidextrous or learned how to use the left hand more.
Let's assume you're a knight, right? Let's hold in one hand, hold a sword, and in the other hand, hold your shield. So imagine you're holding your sword and your shield. And focus on which hand do you hold the sword. That is your most dominant, in this case, fighting hand. And your left hand, in this case, is your protecting arm. So the right hand is your most dominant one, in this case. And in the image here on the video, also the knight is predominantly right-handed. Now the first knight is right-handed. The second one is a little bit scared, but he's also right-handed, and the third one is left-handed. Sometimes it almost looks like both hands move similar, have the same extension and have the same level of movement. Then there are a few ways to deal with that. Like in this case. Which hand moves the most? I don't know. They both seem to move very much similar. Or in this case, they both seem to move similar. And a very timid one, very small clap. Okay, hand clap version 2. If it's not determined, step 1, ask again. It's just put your hands on your lips, do it again. If that's still inconclusive, ask the client to do something else. Let's try a new experiment. Let's assume you're right-handed. Assume you're very right-handed. Now you sit in the play, you sit in the concert, and you want to really give them applause. Keep your left hand completely still. Don't move it. Either vertical or your horizontal doesn't matter, but keep your left hand still and only clap with your right hand. Like if it was the most beautiful play ever, only clap with your right hand. Ready? Go. Then you thank them. Okay. Now switch. Now keep your right hand very still. Don't move your right hand, keep it very still. And only move your left hand. It's again a beautiful play. Keep your right hand still and only clap with your left hand. Okay, thank you. Which of the two feels most normal? And usually that gives a conclusion if the first one was inconclusive. The other, if that's still, it's kind of both the same. Ask, were you always right or left-handed? Or was it in the past different? If that's also inconclusive, assume left. The reason why is many people learned in their past that left-handed was bad. Either in school or by their parents, they were taught to do a lot of things with their right hand. And like a right-handed person, if they're born right, they have a lot of trouble doing anything left. For example, if I write my name with my left hand, it's hardly readable. It's very, very bad. So if all tests are inconclusive and they're all doing the same things just as good left-handed and right-handed, the hand clasp exercise, assume that they're left. In some healing modalities, in some modalities, they teach alternative ways to determine laterality, handedness, or brain-wiredness. Do not use anything else. Please fix on the hand clasps exercise. There are a few different forms to do the hand clasp exercise. I just explained them. Just have them applaud like in a studio or in a play. If not, try to be right-handed, try to be right-handed, left-handed, but don't use other methodologies to determine it. They are just not accurate enough. Only use the hand clasp determination. 60% is right-wired, 40% is left-wired, and they're born. You're born right or you're born left-handed. And that is directly intercoupled with your brain-wiredness, and brain never changes laterality. So once you're right-handed, born as a right-hander, you'll always be a right-hander. However, you can learn to use your other hand, but then you're still right-wired or left-handed. So if a person can do a lot of things with a left hand and with a right hand, ambidextrous, most of the born left-handed learned or forced to be good with the right hand. So if somebody's really ambidextrous, they're probably left-handed. You can learn to be right-handed or left-handed by education, sometimes by an injury if you cannot use your right hand or left hand. But the brain never changes laterality. Okay, let's do an assignment for that. Go outside and determine the laterality of 10 different people with the hand clasp exercise. Can also be your family members, right? And write down your experiences. What did you notice? How well did it function? And what else did you discover? It takes more than 50 minutes, but just as an indication. Ready, go.
Do you want even more free videos? Just go to free.biocompass.org and we have a ton of more stuff for you.